It's Bourbon Night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, we have a squatty little bottle on the table.
Oh, don't pick on it.
What do we got?
Old Grandad 114.
Affectionately known as OGD 114.
Oh man, we've been meaning to get to this one for a while.
Yes. Let me do the noisy part.
Okay, the noise. Oh, I don't like this part. Knives being waved around. I don't like it. Yeah, so as you can guess, it's 114 proof.
So this has got a statue here on the front. Sarah, I would call that a bust.
I would.
What can you tell me about this this old granddad?
That's Old Grandad.
Just how old is he?
114 years old. No, I'm just kidding.
He's actually non-age stated.
So
Say that.
I believe that Old Grandad was of its own ownership pre-prohibition. Then obviously, and then the label floated around out there for a while. But in 1987, Jim Beam got their hands on it. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's at right now. But this guy on the front here, Old Grandad, whose granddad was he? Well, actually, it's really not so much of whose granddad he was. It's who he is, and they called him Granddad. It's Basil Hayden.
I prefer, if we're not talking about the actual bourbon, Basil Hayden's, I prefer that we go ahead and say Basil. So the man we'll call Basil Hayden.
But how many Basils do you know as well?
Yeah, there's that one from Austin Powers, Basil Exposition.
A fictional character.
Okay, so I don't personally know any Basils.
Right.
But if I did, I would think they would want to be called Basil instead of Basil.
Right. So Basil Hayden is Old Grandad, and his grandson named Old Grandad after him.
So there you go. And now we can nose.
And now we can drink. Oh, we have to nose.
Yeah, there's like a tea. There's a tea in there, I feel like.
It just has like a really nice sweetness, but you get the power, the oomph behind that with the 114 proof. You know, I find with the Old Grandad line that it doesn't quite have that same nuttiness as the Jim Beams are typically known for. You can get a little bit of it in there, but it's not quite as heavy-handed.
Well, this is definitely...
Not that I don't like it, I do.
The highest rye mash bill that Beam has to offer. And since Beam doesn't really release their mash bills, some places will straight out say this is 27% rye in the mash bill.
Seems oddly specific.
Other places will say 30. I've seen both out there. So we're just going to say it's probably between 27 and 30% rye. So roughly. It is a high rye bourbon with a high proof, which can get some people in trouble.
I like it. I like it. It's in my wheelhouse.
Let's take a sip and see what we think about it nowadays.
There's also a little cherry on there.
Oh, I get that honey on the front. And it's a lemon and a tea. It's kind of almost like a hot toddy. Woo, yes.
Definitely that sweetness of that honey up front.
Straight down. Straight into the hug.
It's one of those that gets you with the...
Yeah, that granddad is hugging you.
But appropriately.
Yes, appropriately. And getting out like a hard candy in one of those noisy wrappers.
Yes.
In the movie theater.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, it warms you right up.
Yes, it warms you up. And the finish is kind of nutty.
It kind of
is. There is that nuttiness.
Oh, I just got chills all over. It's that proof, that warmth, that heat and that proof just coming at you all at once. It gave me some goosebumps.
I can see how this, in a less experienced, less mileage on your bourbon drinker, could be like...
It could be off-putting.
Ooh, hold on. Yeah.
I think when we first had it, may have been the rye. I just don't know if we were ready for those flavors at that point. But then, we started to see this uptick within like the next year or two after we had first gotten our hands on it of bartenders. It was becoming like a cult favorite of bartenders, and we were like, what do they know that we don't know? And
well, I think we had that. We had one of our second bottle that we weren't really reaching for, so then we're like, well...
It became like one of our go-to cocktail things.
Let's start tossing in some cocktails. And it really cuts through a cocktail well. Makes sense, right?
The proof, the high-rye.
High-rye and the proof.
It really holds up, and it's a decent price point if you're going to make cocktails. This was about $27-$28, depends on where you live.
It's around 30 now, and more on that in a second. I just have to say, Sarah... I've picked this glass up to go back for my second sip about 2 times now,
and
I've
like, nope.
Still set it down. I don't feel like I need to because it's just
still going.
It's like it's just like spreading out amongst my chest.
Ew.
Like that thing from Alien.
Yeah, ew.
It's popping out.
Gross.
But second sip.
I've already had mine, so. Yeah, I think, with like you said, with that second bottle, we used it mostly for cocktails, and then as time has gone on, we've revisited it for other numerous projects, and I think just it has really grown on us.
Yeah. It for sure has.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning the price. I should say that there was this really corroborated rumor.
Corroborated?
Thank you. Back in 2017, that the Jim Beam was doing away with it. Remember that?
I remember that.
And then it started to fly off the shelves
you
because
couldn't find
of it.
Yep.
It was off the shelves for a little while. I think just because people were hoarding it.
Yeah.
Then Jim Beam changed their minds. If they were officially actually going to take it off the market, they were like, "No, we're not going to do that."
It came back.
It came back, but it came back closer to $30 because I remember this was in our under 25 bracket back in 2016.
Sure.
Come back and it's more around 30.
But a lot has changed since 2016, and I think that a $5-ish price increase for something that's 114 proof that's of this quality.
Yeah.
Is pretty much normal. Like,
now that's also our area.
Yeah, of course.
Prices will vary depending on your region.
I can already hear the comment. Oh. This is $60 where I live.
Oh God, I hope not.
I'm sorry, I don't live where you live. I hope it's not.
Don't know if I'd pay $60 for it.
No.
But wow, this really hangs around. It's not so much in the the mouthfeel. It's really more in the chest.
This is one of those ones, though, where I would still use it in a cocktail, but I would also drink it neat. I could also see how this could be great for someone if you just like an ice ball or you want it over the rocks. So, I think this is a really good, I would call it a utility.
Yeah.
Because it is in that more affordable price range. It's generally available.
One thing that I'll point out about this is, so far we really haven't called out that many notes. And I think that's just because we've really been...
I'm really focused on
that.
Proof.
On the proof, the high-rye, the chest feels that it's giving you.
That's a good point, Chad.
But I am still getting, I think we talked about that tea note, honey and tea, kind of right up front. It does go into more of like a nutty finish. And honestly, on this third sip, I got a little bit of a peanut butter vibe on the palate, which was, you know me. If you know me, I like that.
Yeah, I get the honey at the front. I don't get as much of the tea as you do. I get a little bit of clove.
Citrus.
A little bit of citrus.
Little lemon.
I really get the char notes on the finish and like a caramelized wood or toasted wood.
Almost like a little bit of a chocolate.
And a chocolate or
bitter chocolate.
I was kind of going to say like espresso or a coffee note on the very, very finish.
I'd buy it.
Less of the nutty for me. Like if you did blind taste test, I don't think I'm going to say Jim Beam. And I feel like with most like labels that have Jim Beam on the label or like Knob Creek, Baker's, Booker's, I can pick it out of a lineup.
Sure, it's that high-rye.
I think it might be. Yeah, that's disguising.
I did the Whiskey in a Box challenge over on our Instagram page, and you put the OGD BIB, the bottled bond, 100 proof.
I did.
And I was like, it's nutty. I want to say Jim Beam, but not, and that was throwing me off.
Yeah.
I did guess Jim Beam. I did not guess the right bourbon, but
that's okay.
That's okay. Okay, now Sarah, it's over 100. You know our arbitrary rule. We put some water in it.
It's our stupid rule.
I would kind of like to see how it reacts to some water.
I don't think I've ever done it.
No, I don't think we have either. So let me just drop in about 5. So 5 drops have been added. We're going to let this sit here and see what that water does. And while we wait, we want to tell you about whiskyambitions.com. It's our home on the internet for things such as these Glencairns, our water glasses, rocks glasses, t-shirts, challenge coins, and always more coming soon. That's whiskyambitions.com.
You can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join our community and conversation for as little as $1 a month. Anytime we get, inside scoops on special things that we can offer you guys, we pass that along to our patrons. We do patron-only podcasts. We do polls. We just basically use that as our listening community. It's
after
a lot
shows
of fun.
now.
After shows.
Yeah.
We got more things all the time.
All the time. Okay. All right, we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes more, and we'll be back after that. And welcome back. 10 minutes has elapsed. Let's see what these 5 drops of water have done.
I think it brings out a little bit of that nutty note on the nose. I think it does.
I think you're nutty. I'm just getting more of the kind of that lemon and...
I get some lemon, some cherry, and I get a little bit of nutty.
I can see a whisper of nutty. Like a cracked peanut in the distance.
Yeah.
All right.
This is like a different bourbon.
It is.
Whoa.
Whoa. It took the intensity, like the chutzpah of it, right?
Yeah.
And
it dialed it way down.
There's a lot more citrus now, but now it's more like... More citrus. It's not so much that lemon that I was getting. It's more like other, I don't even know, like mango or lime or something.
It definitely takes the blow off of the finish, which I liked, but I can see how... Like, I still think... Let's just get this right. I still think it tastes great, right? It's just not what it was before.
Yeah.
And I think that this bottle, why I say it's a utility bottle, is I think that it can be very versatile. So, you know, if you are someone who's maybe not ready for this yet, 5 drops of water and that backs way off. It becomes much more approachable. So with like a big ice ball or something, you're going to be all set. But like where we're at, I particularly liked it just uncut.
Yeah. I think the personality of OGD 114 lies at exactly at that proof. But if you do get this and it is a little bit much for you, you're not ready for it. Yeah, I would definitely put it over a rock, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I gotta say I like it better uncut.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that personality is something.
It's something there. It is
somewhat
something there.
For a not really complex bourbon. The taste of this straight out of the bottle is kind of unique, if that makes sense.
It is.
There's not a whole lot that really tastes like OGD 114, although it's not a super complex bourbon.
Right.
All right, nitty gritty time, Sarah. Let's call it $30 because that's what it is in our area.
Yep.
For a 114 proof high rye bourbon, non-age stated. What do you give it?
All day.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna give it the old recommend as well. As you said, utility whiskey. Put it in your cocktails. Put it in your glass. Put it over ice.
I don't know where else is.
Put it wherever you want to put it. I don't care. Okay, well, hey, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, we'd love for you to do that. You can click right up here to do that, or there's other suggestions of other videos down here. We hope to see you over there in those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Okay, until next time, drink more bourbon.